And here it is, Otutin Sheleo, it is happening again. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Otutin Sheleo, it is happening again. I am happening again. Hope you are happening with me. The session commences and your company is required. That thing happening twice a day now, seemingly every day. The first fulfillment are being fulfilled right now. So come fulfill all righteousness with the platform. What goes on here is just left in the hands of the gods. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Obi'S. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 holy. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. And he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika Kwakwanso. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Namdekano is another Savior. Just sing along, holy, 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 Namdekano is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving fast now. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right and moving faster. Never freedom. Is another Savior. Never freedom. Holy, 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 Namdekano is another Savior.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Obi'S. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. And he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika Kwakwanso. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo.
And there it is right there. The dulcet tones of the farmyard singers from the eastern part of Nigeria. Holy, 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 as guys, I bring you this. Osinbasjo under pressure to rejoin presidential race. Allies plot VP Kwakwanso ticket. So there it is right there. So there it is right there. So which one makes the most sense is really the question. And Osinbasjo uh, riding the front guard with Kwakwanso right beside him, but a step back. So essentially, an Osinbasjo presidency with Kwakwanso vice, or the mix of Kwakwanso and Peter Obi, the decision on who is primary and secondary, still a flip of a coin. So which one of those two mixes coheres more with sense and what the mood of the climate wants? So which one makes the most sense is the question. Osinbasjo under pressure to rejoin presidential race, allies plot VP Kwakwanso ticket. So that seems to me imminently a more palatable mix than any of the mixes that is being either proposed or in place so far. Zamfara government directs residents to buy guns, defend themselves against bandits, orders police commissioner to issue licenses. So there it is right there. And that is the state police taking its shape by the doctrine of necessity. So necessarily people have to be able to defend themselves because they cannot continue to be sitting ducks, as Buhari insists that they must be, so that they're just lined up astride and shot by his clansmen. So even his clansmen are rebelling against that sort of godless positioning of the so-called president of the country. Zamfara government direct residents to buy guns, defend themselves against bandits, orders police commissioner to issue licenses. So there it is right there, the doctrine of necessity. The doctrine of necessity. So this one a deviation, somewhat a departure from this one somewhat a deviation, a departure from the politics, but this one I find curious and I would even say somewhat alarming. But I'll give you the headline first and then we'll take it from there. Son of late Emir of Kano marries two wives on the same day. So that is alarming enough, but then that seems to be their culture up in the north. They have their ways peculiar to them, strange, somewhat even weird to us, but nevertheless, everybody allowed to live life as they deem fit. But in the course of reading the piece, I will show you the screen so that you'll see then what I find alarming. But again, the headline, pardon me, but again, the headline, son of late Emir of Kano marries two wives on the same day. So that seems to be how they flow in that part of the world. So back to a story that refuses to leave the headline, organ harvesting, Ekwuremadu's donor's brother breaks silence. So now we are hearing now the underbelly of what is going on there. Because a lot of people have a lot of sympathy for Ekwuremadu. Some people recoil from the idea of being of using rather or attempting to use a 15-year-old boy to service your own daughter. That seems just grossly inhumane to some people. But as the as more and more information continue to emerge from that space, we get more and more of a sense of what actually transpired. Organ harvesting, Ekwuremadu's donor's brother breaks silence. So quite what he has to say, we'll find out shortly. So now this is really something that must end in Nigeria, just the level of looting. And some of the lootings, the looting are bad enough, but some of the lootings are just so godless because of the price of that looting. We've been here before, but it continues. It's a space that continues to reveal this particular storyline. Nigerian Anti-Corruption Agency, ICPC, finally opens second box found in ex-Army Chief Burutai's property, finds additional $170,000, 85,000 pounds, 54,000 euros stashed inside. So this is just the thing. This habit, of course, the price of all of these are nearly $500,000, well, in excess of $500,000, billions of naira, no doubt. The price of this is the lives of the soldiers in the front line who are giving Shakabula them guns to go and fight AK-47 wielding Fulanis, not because the country cannot afford to properly equip them, no, but because of this headline. Nigerian Anti-Corruption Agency ICPC finally opens second box found in ex-army chief Burutai's property, finds additional $170,000, £85,000, 54,000 euros stashed inside. So there it is right there, the Nigerian space, and there it is. So the excuses now, but is this tenable? Tokunbo Afi Kuyomi falsified Tinubu's academic credentials to INEC, says campaign headquarters. So the Tinubu space somewhat responding to this story that has gone like a wildfire around the Nigerian space. No doubt, no small thanks to the obedience who are really pushing this story hard because, of course, they want to do Tinubu out of the way to enhance the prospects of their principle. But should Tinubu even have dignified at all this storyline with the response is the question. Tokunbo Afikuyomi falsified Tinubu's academic credentials to INEC, says campaign headquarters. So that's the excuse, but is it tenable? We'll find out shortly. So plenty to go through. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol, as you're coming in, click on the like button. If you're not already subscribed, correct that as well. And if you want to come join me on the screen to discuss any of these points, click on this hyperlink that says StreamYard, the one, it's in the comment section, and I've highlighted it on the screen so you know the one that I'm referencing. So if you want to come join me live on screen, click on that hyperlink, and then that holds you in a studio space. Soon as I finish reading out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen and engage you in the conversation. But before we get into the fullness of it, a little bit of an intermission with the Kegites.
Only water, where they see ma. Water, only water, where they see ma. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Chifu Wẹ́lá ti kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dìlé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dìlé o. Petrosonama ẹ̀yẹ o ó dìlé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dìlé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run méjìkọ. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there it is right there. The Kegites. Iku Koniru Agbeshe, may death have nothing to do with us. A powerful, potent prayer. Iku Koniru Agbeshe, as guys, I bring you this. Osinbasjo under pressure to join. Let me remove this for a moment. Osinbasjo under pressure to rejoin presidential race. Allies plot VP/Kwakwanso ticket. So let's see what is in play here. There appears to be renewed plot in political circles around the new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) there appears to be renewed plots in political circles around the new Nigeria People's Party NNPP and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo's camp to draft Osinbajo back into the 2023 presidential race. Although close aides of the vice president described this as mere speculation, arguing that their principal won't be leaving the All Progressives Congress APC, sources insisted at the weekend that there were active suggestions going on regarding the possibility of an Osinbajo Kwakwanso ticket on the platform of the NNPP. Alhaji Rabiu Kwakwanso, a former governor of Kano State, is the presidential candidate of NNPP, a new party that seems to resonate with political elements across many northern states. Meanwhile, there is insinuation of Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, also running with Kwakwanso on the platform of what their fans call a third force. One of the factors driving the push for an Osinbajo Kwakwanso ticket is the need to give vent to what is clearly a nationwide yearning for a different kind of political leadership, something that the VP has come to represent to Nigerians, one of the sources said. On the other hand, Kwakwanso is known to be an accomplished grassroots politician in the Northwest who can easily complement the VP. Osinbajo had, amongst others, lost the presidential ticket of the APC to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the special convention of the party held at Eagle Square, Abuja on June the 8th. Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State, scooped 1,271 delegate votes to emerge as the party's candidate in next year's presidential poll, whilst Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, a former Minister of Transportation, polled 316 votes to come second. Osinbajo polled 235 votes to finish third. The latest move, according to sources, is being championed by some of the VP's associates in collaboration with some influential northern politicians. Regardless of the outcome of the primaries, the group has now commenced a move to secure the ticket of the NNPP for the VP. According to the sources, the plan to substitute Kwakwanso, whose name has already been submitted by the party as the presidential flag bearer, using the window of substitution, which opens until August. Although close aides of the VP have dismissed the report, describing it as mere speculation, the sources spoke of the possibility of an Osinbajo Kwakwanso ticket on the platform of the NNPP. The calculation, one of the sources said, is that religion will play a major role in who succeeds President Muhammad Buhari in 2023, and fielding the VP, a Southern Christian, would ensure that the North is freely allowed to choose a Muslim running mate, and as such, Kwakwanso is suitably qualified to deputize for Osinbajo. So there it is right there, a turn up for the books. That is a new paradigm to conjure with, and that seems somewhat eminently sensible as a possibility. There's no getting away from that. Osinbajo is still an entity, and it will be a waste for him not to have any space within the sorry, I was just reading Alexander Akashe's comment here. So Alexander, the suggestion is actually that Osinbajo actually runs the presidential seat with Kwakwanso deputizing for him, because of course I'm not even sure if it's constitutionally allowed for him to be vice president more than once. But let me take a 2-minute break. I just need to make some adjustments. Just 1 moment. Listen to this.
Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi go only do I walk. O Mary Nizu Biroya Abakare Mamanda Ora Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance.
To the Nigerian national anthem, Mr. Albert Congo raises the flag of the new nation.
All right, there it is. Nigeria will heal this. Sorry, I just had to make some minor adjustments. So the possibility of Osinbasjo Kwakwanso now something being reflected within political circles. So from that to this, Zamfara government directs residents to buy guns, defend themselves against bandits, orders police to issue licenses. So doctrine of necessity, this is what it is. The Zamfara state government has advised the residents of the state to acquire guns to defend themselves against terrorist and bandit attacks. This directive is contained in a special government announcement signed by the State Commissioner for Information, Honorable Ibrahim Magaji Dosara. In the special announcement obtained by correspondents on Sunday, the government said it had directed the State Commissioner of Police to issue licenses to all those who qualify and are wishing to obtain such guns to defend themselves. It said that Zamfara State was ready to facilitate people, especially their farmers, to secure basic weapons for defending themselves, adding that it will establish a center for the collection of intelligence on the activities of informants. The statement reads in part, following increase in the activities of bandits in various parts of the state and the government's commitment to ensure adequate security and protection of lives and property of the citizenry in the state, particularly during this rainy season, government has resolved to take further measures to deal with the recent escalating attacks, kidnapping, and criminal levies being enforced on our innocent communities. This act of terrorism has been a source of worry and concern to the people and government of the state. Therefore, in order to deal decisively with the situation in our respective communities, government has no option but to take the following measures. Government has henceforth directed individuals to prepare and obtain guns to defend themselves against the bandits, as government has directed the State Commissioner of Police to issue license to all those who qualify and are wishing to obtain such guns to defend themselves. Government is ready to facilitate our people, especially our farmers, to secure basic weapons for defending themselves. Government has already concluded arrangements to distribute 500 forms to each of the 19 emirates in the state for those willing to obtain guns to defend themselves. People must apply from the Commissioner of Police, license to own guns and such other basic weapons to be used in defending themselves. A secretariat or center will be established for the collection of intelligence on the activities of informants. People are strictly warned and advised to make sure that any information or intelligence about an informant must be true and nothing but the truth, as all information on such informants must carry correct data on suspects, including their pictures, correct names, address, occupation, and witness to testify the genuinity of the information given. So on and on it goes. But essentially, the uptake from that, the Zamfara state to the indigents, Annie gets the guns. Annie gets the guns. So Annie gets the guns now seems to be the directive now from Zamfara state. So let me move this story to the end because I want to read this last. That is the Emir's son getting married. So back to Ikweremadu, organ harvesting. Ikweremadu's donor's brother breaks silence. So let's see what the latest installment is on this space. Um, one of the family members of the young man involved in the controversial organ harvesting scandal that led to the arrest and detention of Senator Ike Ikeremadu and his wife Beatrice in the United Kingdom, David Upo Mini, has claimed the age of the donor to be 25. David's brother, who claimed to be 22 years of age, told correspondents that the victim is his older brother. He added that they had been conversating with the brother since January when he traveled. The donor's brother said he was staying with them here in Okotun before he left. We both have to sell phone accessories. We spoke last week. We even spoke again this week. He said David was not working yet as he needs to go to school first before he could be given a working paper. I told him about our dad who is not feeling fine. He said, David is my elder brother because we are both of the same father with different mothers and we hail from Ebonyi State. I will be 22 by next month and David is 25. I am aware that he traveled because he told me. He did not disclose the country he was traveling to. He simply told me he was going to school abroad. After some months of not hearing from him, I got his number from his girlfriend and called him. I asked about his studies and work. So there it is right there. The guy actually a 25-year-old man, not a 15-year-old boy. But the story got somewhat convoluted and details continue to emerge. Nigerian Anti-Corruption Agency (ICPC) finally opens second box found in ex-army chief Burutai's property, finds additional $170,000, £85,000, 54,000 euros stashed inside. Officials of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) have finally been able to open a second box found in the house of a former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, retired, being used by a proxy. The house was recently busted by the officials in the Wuse area of Abuja, where cash meant to buy arms for the war against terror, vehicles, and other items were recovered. Correspondents learned that the second box, which had just been opened, contained $170,000, £85,000, and 54,000 euros. The newspaper reported on Saturday that two boxes were found in the building, but ICPC officials were only able to open one. The officials were unable to open the second box at the time of filing that report. They did not submit the money to the CBN, but kept it in the facility, trying to move the money. Two boxes were found, but the ICPC, can't open the second one still, a source told correspondents. On Sunday, correspondents learned that $170,000, which is 103,000 pounds naira approximately, 85,000 pounds, which is 64 million naira, and 54,000 euros, which is 34 million naira, in cash were found in the second box. This amounts to 202,320,000 naira. Correspondents earlier reported that the ICPC appeared to be doing the bidding of the former Army Chief Burutai, whose house was being used by a proxy, as the agency gave inconsistent figures of the amount it found in the recovery of cash, vehicles, and other items from the building. Correspondents learned that whilst the ICPC granted bail to the military contractor fronting for Burutai, claiming that 30 million naira was found in the apartment, the agency later said in an official release that 175 million was recovered. Burutai, a retired lieutenant general, was the chief of army staff between 2015 and 2021. Azuka Ogugua, the spokesperson for the commission, had disclosed on Friday how the apartment was raided, but did not give the details of Burutai's links to the recovery. Burutai, despite denial by his lawyers and other faceless individuals, already admitted to a newspaper that the property was his and had no search warrant was obtained before it was raided. One of the sources further revealed that the ICPC figures of recovery had discrepancies, all in a bid to cover up for Burutai, who is at the heart of the massive corruption unfolding. One of the sources had said, Burutai spoke to People's Gazette saying ICPC had no search warrant, contrary to the denials by his lawyer that the property was not his. ICPC granted administrative bail to Burutai's front, claiming that they only found 30 million. They then issued a statement claiming they found 175 million naira. This is not the first time Burutai will be involved in such a massive scandal. Burutai's first issue was with a businessman who fronted for him in Kano but took away his loot. Burutai got military intelligence to arrest the man but covered up the issue when the man threatened to spill. They advised Burutai to let him go and find an amicable way of settling the matter. Those involved properties are in Kano and Abuja, another top source said. Correspondents on Friday reported that the ICPC confirmed the recovery of cash, vehicles, and other items worth billions of naira from a military contractor fronting for Burutai. Azuku Ogugwa, the spokesperson for the commission, disclosed the arrest in a statement on Friday. Ogugwa identified the suspect as the managing director of K Salam Construction Company Nigeria Limited, Mr. Kabiru Saliu. Correspondents had reported how the ICPC officials last Thursday invaded a property in Abuja, recovering cash, vehicles, and wristwatches worth billions of naira from a man who said they belonged to Burutai. So there it is right there. So Burutai continues to loot. Essentially, let's go to the Tinubu narrative. Okunbo Afikuyomi falsified Tinubu's academic credentials to INEC, says campaign headquarters. The Bola Tinubu campaign headquarters on Saturday said the recent certificate forgery charges against the former Lagos governor stemmed from a 1999 incident involving Lagos politician Tokunbo Afikuyomi. The campaign said Mr. Afikuyomi was the one who falsely told the Electoral Department, INEC, in 1999 that Mr. Tinubu attended primary and secondary school in Ibadan, a claim that has now resurfaced ahead of the 2023 presidential elections. The response came a day after correspondents reported that Mr. Tinubu's 2023 presidential nomination filing with INEC showed he did not obtain primary and secondary education, with his campaign admitting that Mr. Tinubu did not disclose his early schools because that matter was controversial in the early 2000s. The campaign, however, said the ruling APC candidate was exonerated of all charges after Mr. Afikuyomi, a former senator, admitted that he mistakenly filled the governorship nomination forms for Tinubu in 1999 and therefore responsible for the false claims before a Lagos parliamentary panel that probed the counterfeit academic records. Asiwaju was exonerated in the House of Assembly's report because Senator Afikuyomi said he filled the form on his behalf then. Campaign spokesman Bayo Ononuga said in a statement to News Agency of Nigeria on Saturday. Mr. Ononuga did not clarify whether or not Mr. Tinubu could be held responsible under the law since he was the candidate whose signature appeared on the falsified document filed under oath. Mr. Ononuga said Mr. Tinubu left out his primary and secondary education columns when he sought a second governorship term in Lagos in 2003. Mr. Ononuga said Nigerians should disregard perjury charges against Mr. Tinubu because has not held any political office since he concluded his two terms in 2007 until earlier this month when he clinched the presidential nomination of the ruling party. The same certificate he gave to INEC this year, he used in 2003, and there was no issue then. Why are they raising issues now? Mr. Ononuga added to the News Agency of Nigeria. This was what happened that time, and if in 2022 Tinubu now drew blank on that session, what offense has he committed? The campaign dismissed the controversy as fueled by opposition elements of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Mr. Tinubu told INEC when he submitted his nomination form on June the 15th that he did not have primary and secondary school certificates, but he had two university degrees. However, the certificates from the tertiary institutions he attended had been stolen by state agents who breached his residence in Lagos during the brutal regime of Sani Abacha. So there it is. Hello? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So there it is right there. So, and there it is right there. It gets even more convoluted and even more mixed up as we carry on. It makes as less sense as it did previously. So let me share the screen for you for this last readout. This is the son of the emir, the late emir getting married. So just look at this because the picture has the narrative. Somewhat alarming to me, but does this alarm you? So here it is right here. Let me take it to the top. So here it is right here. Son of late emir of Kano marries two wives same day. So that's the son of the late emir, and those are the people that is getting married to. So just look at that. Look at your screen. So that's the guy who looks somewhat well. You can tell what he looks like, and there he is marrying some barely 12-year-old couple of girls. So there it is. That's the going son in the north. Mustafa Adobayero, the young son of the late Emir of Kano, Alhaji Abdullahi Adobayero, has married two wives the same day. Details of the ceremony are still sketchy at the time of filing this report, but it was gathered that the wedding fatia was held recently in Kano. And there it is. Just look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So there they are. Look at that. Unbelievable. These are scary people. So look, that's the guy. My goodness me. So and there it is. My God Almighty. I hope you're having the same thoughts that I am, because I am certainly having thoughts. There's nothing right about this. So the picture really the narrative there, but there it is. That's the goings on in the north still. Just the barbarism of these people. Okay, we only seem to have a rational mind. So let's go to rational mind then. see what he has to say. So, Rational Mind, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Brilliant. Good to have you. So Rational Mind to you then. Let's kick it off from the Osinbasjo space. It looks as though the possibility then being mused that an Osinbasjo Kwakwanso ticket. So this is something that they are discussing in the quiet quarters to emerge shortly. So what are you making of that as a mix? Osinbasjo Kwakwanso ticket.
Well, I have always suspected that something is in the making for Osinbasjo because I think he made a press statement some few days ago where he said something about was talking to his
yeah, that will still be, it will still continue in active politics. Was what he said.
Politics. So I was like, what does this guy mean? I mean, is there something we don't know? Probably that is what is taking shape right now with what you're talking about. The headline you brought about Kwakwanso and but then the thing is, I think there's in the new electoral, is it the new one or the old one that once you have contested in a primary for a party, you cannot contest in another one. So I don't know how they want to.
No, it's not. It's not going to contest the primary. It's simply going to be substituted. It's going to be a substitution.
For who?
No, he's going to join the He's going. I don't know how it's going to work. Actually, how does it even work? I don't know how does that work. I think you may be right. Yeah.
So that's the point I'm making. So I mean, there's no primaries. Okay, fine. They could probably all primaries is all they finished concluded all primaries now. Except maybe like you said, if in a way they can twist that law that says cannot contest. Then in this case now, it's not contesting, but somebody is stepping down for him. Maybe Kwakwanso step down for him. Okay, become a candidate for NNPP. I will be your deputy. Be your vice president. Maybe that will. I don't know how they want to. I mean,
but let's see how does that strike you as a mix, as opposed to Obi Kwakwanso? So which one chimes better, Obi Kwakwanso or Osinbasjo Kwakwanso?
I think Obi Kwakwanso should work because our Eastern brothers now, they've been talking about they wanted an Igbo person to also take charge of that country called Nigeria. And since we have you see the candidacy of Tinubu comes with it. It comes with a lot of baggages, a lot of things that comes with, apart from this certificate scandal that we're talking about.
How did we get to Tinubu?
Hold on. I'm trying to connect it to Osinbasjo. The need for Osinbasjo to come into this, as if at all he can never come in, is that religious angle to it. Nigeria cannot afford to have two Muslims on the ticket. Now, this is our people from the north.
People are saying it wears better for Okay, sorry, carry on. Yeah.
So the way that country is, Muslim ticket. Not even now that we're having this religious crisis everywhere in that country. The Muslim ticket will not work. Our people from the north would not allow one of their Christian brothers there, who is a northerner, and the person of maybe Plateau State governor or somebody from Borno State, from southern part of Borno State, Babachi Lawa and the rest of them, or this former speaker of House of Rep from Bauchi State. I mean, if somebody who is a Christian and a northerner can take that place, but they don't see it that way. It must be a Muslim, like their own Muslim over there, and already there's a Muslim from the south. So how can you have two Muslims in a country that is riddled with religious crisis? So there must be a balancing. Not even what we've experienced under this idiot that is there currently right there. So the point is, Tinubu will have a hard sell among some Christians, even from the south, even from the southwest. Tinubu will he's going to find it very, very difficult. That is where
let's leave Tinubu to one side, because I think this mix is interesting enough by itself. Rational Mind. Because Kwakwanso now, we know that Kwakwanso is actively looking for somebody to boost his political journey. So he knows that he has the north down part, but he needs a southerner of equal weight. So, but which southerner has the most weight is the question, really. Osinbasjo or Tinubu or Peter Obi? So that's the question. Because with Osinbasjo, he necessarily has to step down to a vice presidential slot. But does he stand a better chance at the presidency with Osinbasjo than Peter Obi?
With the momentum right now we're seeing, Peter Obi stands more better chance. Because after that election, that their primaries.
You think Peter Obi is more
popular
than
Osinbasjo? I think so.
More popular than Osinbasjo.
Hold on. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Because from the southwest already, the emergence of Tinubu, like I keep saying, has also has declined that of Osinbasjo. There are some, even from Ogun State, who are now bats. Who are now what's his name?
Yeah, that's because there's only Tinubu in play for the Yoruba space.
So they will now see him more as a traitor if he now joins any ticket and now. Because it will look like that's my own reading. That's my own reading. You might not be sure, but that's why I say it. And let me express this thought.
Okay.
So they will see him as a traitor, really, as they've always been trying to call him or label him that name, traitor. He's going to be called that traitor in that sense. So the best thing for him is not just. I didn't mean he did not even participate in that primaries. He pulled out and he not give his support to Tinubu. Then he now merged with. But I wonder how that's going to play out too, because since he's a current vice president under a party known as APC, he's also not going to be seen in the background.
You know that Osinbasjo is more popular nationally and in Yoruba land than Tinubu. It's only the delegates that were bought over that.
Exactly, we know. But the party thing is going to work against him, because he cannot be a serving vice president running under the candidacy.
He will have to retire that, obviously.
He might have problem with his principal. He might have a problem with what's his name with mind you, the cabal.
I don't think Buhari would object to him running the ambition. I think Buhari actually wants him to run that ambition.
Well, you might be right, but for me, the cabals within the Aso Rock, who have been looking for a way of, rubbishing this guy, they might use that opportunity and maybe even get rid of him. Institute some kind of legal case against him that will drag him and even distract him from his presidential bid, try to get him off the president, because since you're no longer a member of the APC, you cannot sit in on any of the executive council or whatever.
No, he will resign as vice president, join NMPP.
Yeah, you go. He will resign. How is that going to play for him?
Politics
doesn't play this way. Politics doesn't play that way. He needs to be relevant as a vice president. For him to be.
He already has his relevance now. He already has nationalistic appeal.
We know he might, but he needs that. He needs to be in that office while he's still contesting.
But what do you mean? That can only be a vice president APC and relevance contesting for NNPP.
That is the power of incumbency. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, power of incumbency of acting.
What are you talking about?
You might say you don't understand what I'm trying to say. If you don't understand, say you don't understand.
It doesn't cohere, is what I'm saying.
I'm saying to you that the power of being in power,
yes,
it has a lot of weight. Now, when you're not in power,
right?
As a vice president of Nigeria, that would give him an edge over any other candidates in the race. But if he becomes another party, whilst he serving under his principal, which is the president, and of a different party where he belongs before, and he goes to another opposition party, he's going to find it very, very difficult. And you saying that?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
If he decides to take up the option to run with NNPP, he can no longer serve as an APC vice president. So
exactly.
So I don't see what you're saying. He has to resign that to then take up this option. But I'm not sure that there will be that significant, the cost that you're suggesting, because he already has everything he needs from APC. He has the name recognition. He has the mass popularity. The elections are 8 months away. So he has already enough of a war chest, and he has enough of a backing.
It doesn't play that way. It doesn't play that way. It doesn't play out that way. It doesn't. It's not as easy as you're talking about. But we do on your platform here and other platform. People have always said, "Why didn't he just resign when he knows that this guy's rubbish his reputation?" Look at how
that's a different space now. So he's resigning to pursue an ambition.
Woman, he needs that relevancy of being a vice president. He can't just resign like that. He needs it.
But rational mind, he cannot remain in that office. He cannot remain in that office. Yes.
But let me ask you a question. How about if he resigns? He resigns and he wants to contest. Do you think he's going to win that election?
No, he cannot win anything.
Well, he will test his popularity at least. What has he got to lose? He has nothing. He has nothing to lose now because at the moment he has nothing but 8 months left. So what has he got to lose?
One man, I agree with you. I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say to you is that he will not resign. He will not resign. He will not give it up.
Why not?
Why not?
Because he likes that position. He wants to be there.
What do you mean? He has had that position for 7.5 years. What more? He's only got 6 months, 7 months left.
But what's the guarantee he's going to win the election if he resigns?
Hold on. He's not going to get anything after 6-7 months as the vice president. So there's nothing for him on offer in any way. But if he resigns and goes to NNPP, at least he gets that moment in the sun to test all this popularity that he knows he has and to see what it actually means.
Okay, let him do that then.
Whether he wins or not, he can build a political career off the back of
that. Let's see that.
If he stays with Buhari, they will just ease out in 8 months, and that's the end of it.
Of course, I agree with you, one man. But I'm saying that
it stands more to gain by going to Kwakwanso than by staying as vice president.
Hold on, one man. I agree with you. It's like
build, but Obi cannot build. He can build with this.
No. We can't hear you. As always, we can hear your machines, but we can't hear you. But
what I'm saying is this. I agree with you.
What I'm saying, though.
I get you. You. He can resign if he wants to resign. But what I'm saying to you is that if he resigns from being a vice president, his political influence will decline drastically. At least it will decline nothing less than 50%.
I'm not sure about that.
It will.
We already have the relevance now. What
relevance
is this still looking for?
Let me argue that with you. Let's see that happen. Let's just see that happens and let's see what's going to happen. For me, that's how I see it. His political relevance will decline in some ways. His influence will decline. He's not going to a new party. And I trust APC. They will use all their war chests and everything. They will wash him down.
It's relevant. It's not going to, as a current president, is adding value to the popularity of NNPP. That is so. It's carrying that weight and popularity to there, and his personality will even make NNPP popular in the South, particularly in the Southwest,
and nationally.
You people
he's not going to decline. He's going to carry more.
It's going to be more because he's now free to express.
It's going to make the party more popular.
Is it not the same Nigeria we're talking about? The same country we call Nigeria. Okay, let us see that happens. Let me not go. Like these are all permutations. But my point is this. My point that I'm trying to make here is this: that as the thing stands right now, Obi will be in a better chance because Obi has gained ground, has made inroads into the hearts of some Nigerians. Because of that now, people are being fired up to go and get their PVC.
But Obi is just a Southeastern champion. Most of those people is a national figure.
Those people that he has been able to succeed in winning their heart, most of them are formerly for Osinbasjo. But since Osinbasjo is no longer in the picture now, they found another person of Obi.
Who do you think people prefer, Osinbasjo or Obi?
Politics doesn't work this way.
And forget how politics works. But that question, who do you think people prefer, Osinbasjo or Obi?
At the moment, Obi. At the moment,
really?
Obi.
All right.
Maybe they used to for, like I said, they used to for Osinbasjo, but at the moment, Obi has made that. So how that is going to change if Osinbasjo resigns and join NNPP, that is yet to be seen. But I tell you, that will not go anywhere. It won't fly. With Bat in the picture, with what's his name of Tinubu in the picture, it will never fly. In fact, that would be a political assassination for him more if he does that. So the best thing for him to have done is during that primaries, if he had withdrawn joined the primary, says he's not giving his he's not contesting this this election.
Yeah, but that's no longer an option now.
It's no longer an option. So
we're from this point to the future.
At this point now, too, it will not work for him. So go to your to the question of NNPP. I don't see him that working. If ever even the best thing is Kwakwanso should realize that the North has had it for 8 years.
No, forget all that. He wants power now. Oh God! All you can do is
the North has had it for 8 years. Let the Southerners have it. So be a deputy for Obi with his weight in the North a little bit, with what Obi has garnered so far over time in the past few weeks now. Let them come together. Let them form a formidable force. Osinbasjo coming into the picture for me, I don't think it's going to work in any way you look at it. It's not going to work.
But if Osinbasjo is going there for what? For presidential ticket or vice president?
No, it's presidential ticket.
Yeah.
You cannot go for vice president. Yeah, no. So,
yes.
and go on.
Sorry, go on.
If Osinbasjo should go there and he becomes the head of that ticket, look, Osinbasjo is more popular. He's very popular in the North.
And in the Southwest.
And in the Southwest.
And in the Southeast too. And in the Southeast too.
And in South. So if we cut that Obi momentum, it will cut it down.
It will finish it.
It will cut it down.
You people just want to. You don't want to talk like you want to talk. I mean, it doesn't go that way.
No, we are just look.
Forget it. It doesn't go that way.
If we cut, look, let me tell you.
He might cut.
In the Southwest, yes, Yoruba people will call you, oh, traitor, he's a traitor. But let me tell you, among Yoruba people as well, some will like him to be the president. Yeah, a lot of people.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people won't like him.
A lot of people, particularly the Christians. And they will look at this option. Look, hold on, rational man. Okay. They will look at the balancing that is bringing into the politics. That he is a Christian and Kwakwanso is a Muslim. Okay. You see that you see that. Yes. So that we work with a lot of people. Than the Tinubu being a Muslim and is bringing Muslim as the president, as the vice president as well. So Osinbasjo entry into NNPP and as the head of the ticket is going to bring a new dimension into the contest.
It will. But
a new dimension, and it will set back that Obi popularity.
It will end it.
It will crush it.
But then what you have.
Because it's very popular. What are you talking about?
It's the most
very popular around the country.
It's the most popular politician in Nigeria.
It's popular. He could not win his primary ticket of his party.
Yeah, but that was bought and paid.
You know what happened?
That was bought and paid. He did not bought and pay. He did not buy and pay. He himself did not pay money. Let's forget this thing. These people are just talking like we're all babies when it comes to this politics.
You know what play out there now. Rational mind.
Whoever pays better.
Hold on. Let's hear from Medoban. Medoban, come in.
Rational mind. I don't agree. What I agree with you partly, in the sense that him retiring resigning as a vice president and going to resigning from the party and heading to NNPP, that could be the stretch. That could be. But if he pulls that out, if he can do that, and becomes the principal of the Osinbasjo Kwakwanso party, he's going to make there's going to be a new dynamic in this election, because he is going to affect part of Obi'S constituency, and he's going to really, really affect Tinubu's chances, because those are the two constituencies where he because Tinubu has it in the Southwest, right, and Obi has it amongst the youth and in the Southeast. So that youth constituency will be shared, and that of Southwest too will be shared. Never mind all these oh, he's a traitor, a betrayer, or Judas, or whatever. When the time comes, people will vote for him, and if he can get that slice of voters in the Southwest and some young people around the country, and a block of vote from the North, especially the Northwest, that will put him in the picture. That will make
where do you put Atiku? This whole mix.
Yeah, Atiku still stands.
Atiku is a busted flush. Atiku is a past tense.
He still stands. Atiku to me right now doesn't have much chances.
I wish the things plays out the way you people just analyzed it.
How is Atiku going to win? Tell me now. Tell me the pathway to Atiku's victory.
Atiku will still make some incursion in the south, south. He will still make the likes of
you know that Kwakwanso will beat Atiku in the north any day of the week. Any day of the week.
How about Northeast and the Middle Belt?
All of the north. He will beat him in all of the north. Even in Adamawa.
It doesn't work that way.
No, one man, we don't have antecedent to that.
No, just in terms of popularity, because
Atiku is popular. Atiku is very popular. Atiku is very popular.
Okay, who is more northern? Yeah. Who is more northern, Atiku or they see?
Atiku will beat Kwakwanso.
You think so?
Atiku is very popular.
Atiku has a weight.
Atiku is very popular.
Maybe three states in the northeast. I mean northwest rather. Kebbi, Kano. Even Kano itself is not going for APC will take Kano. It's still, I mean, so maybe Niger State too. Maybe Niger State, perhaps. So we're talking about Kwakwanso.
You know that in the
Kwakwanso is not that.
It's popular. You know, in the north, they say Atiku as a Yoruba man.
You are the one talking about saying Atiku is a Yoruba man. You are the one saying it.
They say him as a Yoruba
man. That's your own saying. Atiku is known in the north.
Northerner, half southerner.
A bit like you.
Half northerner, half southerner. A light Hausa, Bina. Diet Coke Hausa.
Yes.
One man, let me just so that people can have that. Well, what I'm just saying here is this. You see, this permutation that we just gave now of this guy moving to NNPP, it will never work. It will only work to the advantage of Atiku. And I mean, it's in fact, the way any way you look at it, it's slice and dice this thing. I don't think it can ever work because number one, he has already contested in a primary. Of course, there will not be any primary. Somebody will just step down. I don't know if legally that will be allowed, or if another person will have to challenge that. I trust the APC. They will challenge him. They will use one of their moles within their place and say, "Oh yeah, go and challenge him in court, distract him, get him so he will not be able to go out and campaign because when he's always going to court to defend his candidacy on that NNPP, and they are distracting him. How is he going to? So you see, if people just think he's going to just decamp like that and just resign and he's going to make it no. A lot of things are to be considered before he can do that. It seems like it's easy for him. I mean, that's the best option for him to just resign and go to NNPP.
But one man, where is this rumor coming from?
It's from the Vanguard. It's from the Vanguard.
Is there any credibility to it?
Well, it's political permutations, and they are saying discussions. They are saying discussions are ongoing, and Osinbasjo did indicate just 2 days ago that he's still very much in active politics, and they are saying discussions are ongoing. And when they tried to pressure the Osinbasjo camp on this, they were a bit coy in their response to say that's speculation and we're not going to add. So they didn't deny it. So, and Osinbasjo told us discussions are ongoing, and somebody obviously released this to test the temperature of how people would digest it or not. So clearly, there's something in the offing somewhere, and Kwakwanso is holding back somewhat in his discussions with Obi, exploring other options. So yeah, a lot of that.
Kwakwanso is just, you see that guy, the way I look at him, he's just trying to use his position to bargain. Whether with Atiku, whether with Bato, whether with Obi'S he's trying to do, I know he's trying to use that position to bargain. Most of them did during their primaries. A lot of them who were just buying their primary presidential ticket, they know what they were doing. They know they were not going anywhere. They want to use that position. Oh, I stepped down for this. I stepped down for this. I stepped down. Made them relevant and made them bargain. I mean, just to look, maybe if this guy becomes the president, to remember me, your kingdom. That's what most of them they do. So I think that is what this guy is. He knows he's not going anywhere with his NNPP. The best shot for him is merge with somebody, bring other people together on board. Do not insist that you must be the president, because already we have another who is currently the president. Seek to become a vice president. With your weight, you might bring people in for the new coalition you people will be forming with like the likes of Obi. And if he's able to formulate,
if he's able to in some way get Osinbasjo on board and Osinbasjo to lead that ticket, they will win the election.
One man, it will not work. That of Osinbasjo will not work. I see a lot of problems in that. Legal problems, character assassination, a lot of things will fly
that is true. That is true. But if it works, let's say they're able to pull it off. What do you think?
They will win the presidency. They will.
I hope they win. I hope they win, but I don't see them winning because of the permutation we're seeing with Tinubu in the mix and Atiku in the mix. It's not going to work that way. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy fly.
Obi'S, turn that frown upside down. That's better. That's better. That's.
You can see that beautiful smile and beautiful laugh.
turn that frown upside down. You don't agree? I take it, Obi'S, with what's being said, Sally. On mute.
I'm not really disputing anything. These are all permutations. You know, we're all hoping for the best. And so we're just struggling to make out something out of what those rumors are.
But who do you think a better fit is? Osinbasjo Kwakwanso or Obi Kwakwanso? Who do you think Nigerians will gel more with? What will resonate more right across the breadth of the country?
Well, in fairness, I mean, the Igbos have been putting this mantra up about how they have never had a shot at the presidency. So I think the Obi thing already is gaining momentum and is not in any way gone down so far from what I can see. I think it's even getting worse and worse. So for the betterment, I think because Kwakwanso has this influence in the north, teaming with Obi would have actually resonated, you know, because we know Atiku's there, and anyone that's actually, you know, planning to get this thing, the way things are looking now, has to be somebody that has a strong holding, you know, some kind of strong prospects in the south and a strong prospect in the north. You see what I'm saying? So because the way it's looking now,
you are describing Tinubu there, aren't you?
I'm saying that somebody who's able to get a stronghold in both sides of the south, southwest and southeast, south. That is the south. Yeah, these three zones, they're very important, right? So somebody will be able to penetrate the south because they've got a lot of numbers. Penetrate the southeast with all the divides that are going on, and then also penetrate the southwest to an extent, even if they don't get all of it, but you know, at least half of it, you know, and then the north.
Do you think, leaving the north to one side at the moment, do you think Obi is making incursions in the manner you are describing? Is it penetrating those spaces? By your reading,
penetration is actually proving to be widespread rather than concentrate. Right. It's easy to just say that, okay, he's going to get all the eastern, he's going to get majority of the eastern votes. Very likely. Very, very likely. Because everyone in the southeast zone is looking for some kind of, you know, some kind of redemption.
Yeah.
You know, they're working, they've got their cause together. I mean, it's all, you know, embedded in them. So whereas they're not seeing Kanu, you know, talking all of these things and doing all of those things, in the heart, in the back of their hearts, they're looking for some kind of redemption, even if they have to start with Obi and then come back to Kano. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it, because it's very easy to say, you know, that the north is, the southwest, the southeast is going to vote for Atiku. I very much doubt so, that he'll be able to penetrate if Obi was there, right? So that is one. So then the south, Obi will be able to penetrate the south to a large extent. It all depends on how.
With Okowa as the running mate of Atiku and Wike hating Obi, how is it going to penetrate the south?
Wike doing what?
Wike hates Obi, and Okowa is Atiku's running mate. And Obaseki is
where did you hear that?
I mean, if there's any abuse going, he's throwing it in the direction of Peter Obi. He cannot bear the man.
Okay, but at the end of the day, right, whether Wike likes Obi or not, Wike does not necessarily own the whole of the South. He has a stronghold on Rivers State. We know that, right? But even members of APC that I know within are still saying that, well, they're still going to remain in APC, but they're going to vote for Obi. I heard this live, at least in Port Harcourt, while I was there. You know, so what I'm trying to say is that there's a wave for Peter Obi, and that wave is very, very strong. A lot of women, a lot of people are beginning to see that this is someone they can resonate, at least have a conversation like they never had with any other president in their time. Because where he's coming from, the way he's brought the whole level of what is going on in Nigeria is back to the economics, of the basic economics that we don't even have. And he's projecting that, he's using that to drive. You know,
is it resonating with the Southwest by your reckoning? At the Southwest on board?
It's resonating with the Southwest as well, because who doesn't want someone who's going to like bring us back to where we can actually earn and we can actually have that freedom, you know, that, you know, of governance, whereby, you know, it's not a military thing like it's been with Buhari. They want somebody who is a true civilian, who is learned and who has the acumen to to basically revive Nigeria, you know. And most of the he spent a lot of time talking about solutions, unlike others who have been spending more time just boasting about who they are.
All right, but well, hopefully it works that way. But that Osinbasjo is altogether for me more intriguing a prospect, because Osinbasjo is already where Peter Obi is moving very fast towards. Osinbasjo has cross-national appeal, very, 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 very popular in the north, and more importantly, has name recognition in the north. By virtue of being the vice president for 7 and a bit years, everybody knows who he is, everybody likes who he is, and of course, he has home advantage in the southwest. So just by default, one of our own, so he will get that. And even in the southeast, they have a lot of empathy for him and a lot of liking for him. So he sweeps through the whole country in the way that Peter Obi is now trying to achieve. So he's already there. And a better fit for Kwakwanso, some people would suggest.
Not altogether. You know, I would agree with a lot of what Rational Mind was saying, because now he has actually gone through the primaries, right? He went through. Peter Obi did not go through the primaries of the PDP. That's one thing, and that makes him a man, because he was man enough to leave, you know, knowing that he will not start.
To cut and run.
Go to somewhere where he can actually start, you know, because if you've not started, you've not started. But with Osinbasjo, he's coiled up with all these things that's been going on in Aso Rock, what he knows, what he did not know, where he was placed, where he wasn't placed. And he was never given the chance, apart from the few times when Buhari traveled for his usual medicals. He's never been given that chance to actually run anything to fruition. And a lot of the things that he managed to do, like going to the market to give women 10,000, what is that? That was not rated in any way highly. In fact, that messed up his reputation and his standing, you know, because even when he was able to like sack the, I think it was the chief of, was it the chief of
DSS?
The DSS, yeah.
DSS,
Yeah. You see how that was upturned as soon as Buhari arrived. So he's been someone that's been watched not to grow, and he has, in most cases, whilst the presidency was around, he has basically complied with all that is actually going on in the mess. He has complied with it, and then he tries to make create a message.
Complied or complicit?
All that mess.
Is it complied or complicit? Because there are two different things. Comply would be to carry out his duty as designated. Complicit is to be yeah.
I would say complying is even worse than being complicit.
Well, complying is carrying out your duties now. His duties as a vice president.
That you're complying now, just complying, but you are not put there. You were put there as a representative of the people as well. So whether you're deputizing or not, you're still supposed to come out with strong statements to make sure that your constituents, because it is a kind of like, what would I call it? I would say it's like a partnership, the presidency between the president and the vice president. The whole idea, like what we're discussing now, is for you to bring this side and I will bring that side, and so on. That's the whole mix. It's not as if the two people are like, identical. One has to bring this and one has to bring that. But what has Osinbasjo actually brought in is not relevant. There's no relevance, because even the little thing he brought in, that was overturned, and he didn't even have anything to say about that. He has never shown how he can be a fighter.
No, but
as a man.
No, come on now. That's a bit unfair, because now you are saying he made some changes when he had the power to make those changes, and those changes resonated with the people. It rhymed with the will of the country, and it propelled the country somewhat momentarily forward. But then when Buhari came back, he reversed all the good that Osinbasjo did. But just that little moment in time signaled, how he could perform if he has the opportunity to perform. And I think that is what his popularity is hinged upon. So
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, because people forget, in fact, people look at you as weak when you're standing amongst men and you're not able to assert something that would actually be beneficial for the people. You have an Obi has completed something which he can prove, even if it's just
which is what? Well, some people will say that he cut and run.
Yeah, let me conclude now. Even if it is just raising the level of education, which is so important in the Nigerian space today, in fact in the global space, for us to catch up with education. So if he's actually done that, like he said, there were only 20% of guys in the schools, and 80% were covered by women, because the guys were all going to learn how to just trade, all that kind of thing. But if he has managed to raise that statistics, from the 20% that it was to at least 50%, and that is something that he can make reference.
Is that even a good thing if we are taking that verbatim, which we are not, because nobody has really checked that, but trying to repoint the Southeastern instinct and talent? Is that a good thing? Because the Southeast is known for trade, and he's trying to foist education on them. Why, if he wanted to really, why didn't he enhance their skill base, which is trade?
No, they can do trade. I mean, we don't know the type of schools. It might have been vocational education as well, because they usually, Nigeria, we don't really have comprehensive schools anymore. The few that I knew, I don't know what they're doing these days, but if he had actually raised that, you can still be a trader, a young man as a trader, helping out your brother or helping your family like the AGMs do here, but you still have to be in school. You still have to be in school to learn the basic civics, the basic language, the basic arithmetic, and so on. These are very valuable to global coexistence. For you to understand what is going on in other parts of the world and everything, you need that education anyway, because there are protocols that you have to present if you're going to expand on your business or whatever. So you can start small, but you still have to be in education. And that is very important. So he was able to see education as building the human resources of that particular state, which is so, so important. It's just as equitable as having any other kind of resources.
Some people will suggest that is a mispointed priority. All the money that he invested in education in the Southeast, he should have in Anambra State, he should have invested it instead in where the strengths lay in the Southeast, where the strengths lie, which is in trading. So he should have.
No, the Southeast is not trading alone. Mind you, they're very good at fabrications. They're very good. And then, so you need your basic maths to be able to know geometry, to be able to know basic physics, to know a little bit about metals, wood, and how they, work, how they, they work with each other and so on. So it is important. I mean, there's no way basic education up to secondary level is important. And so if he has actually achieved that, you can look at it as basic, but that is important. And, we don't know for sure, but I believe that because it's from, the area around Inewi where they do all sorts of fabrications, all sorts of trading. I mean, when you say the Igbos trade, it's not just trading. They are very good at fabricating things like shoes, handbags, dressing, fashion.
So why didn't he point resources in that direction rather than trying to force education?
We don't know. We don't know. We don't have any papers now to, but I believe that he would have done that as well to an extent, even if it's not totally. But at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that whether you even want to go vocational or not, you want to become an engineer and so on, you still need to have a basic WAEC to meet up with the standard of the rest of the world.
All right, Sally, let's bring Ajanle Koko into the conversation. So Ajanle Koko, that space that we have several topics, but everybody's speaking about the Osinbasjo romance with Kwakwanso, and some people suggesting, others disagreeing, that seems to be altogether a better pairing than Kwakwanso Obi. So what are your thoughts on that space, Ajanle Koko?
Well, one man, if I have my advice for Osinbasjo, I will simply tell him to stay out of Nigerian politics now. It's toxic right now, and where he's heading to, nobody is sure. There's too much into this. This contest. So if I have my advice for him, I will tell him to go and relax. He can come back in the future. But now, if he jumps Kwakwanso to some people, particularly our people in Yoruba land, we see him as very desperate person as a desperate person, and even within the party itself will go after him, and everything will be so. They will mock him right and left, and we have to understand the fact that NNPC is not. NNPC is a party that is still struggling as well to establish itself across the country. So, though if you go in there, it will bring some popularity, we add more value to that party. But if it doesn't, a party that does not have governors, yes, he has some senators in some local government and some House of Assembly members and federal rep member in some states in the Northwest. But it's a party that is just developing. So except there are some governors within the APCs that want to go with him, into NMPP. That we further add value to that party. But if he doesn't have governors and established politicians following him into NMPP, I think his chances of winning the election will be very, very slim. And
if he just joined the NMPP Ajande Koko and they concede the seat the presidential slot to him, would it then become the real is that the third force then in shape? Would that be the third force that Nigerians are looking for? An NMPP, because that just seems altogether just a natural bedfellow sort of a situation. Kwakwanso and Osinbasjo, there's just it's more rhythmic, it's more Nigerian looking. It rhymes more with what the Nigerian space is, as some people would say.
Well, yeah, some people will define that as a third force, but I will not define it as a third force. I will define it as, a splinter group of PDP and APC. So, but like I said earlier, Osinbasjo going to NMPP, though it's going to be very good for that party, how will it be good for him? That is the fundamental question. Will it be good for him? It's going to be good for NMPP. But the fundamental question, how will it be good for him? Because if that cannot guarantee him to winning the presidency, then he's just pursuing and it's got to be an effort. Yes, just chasing shadow, and everything at the end of the day going to be an effort in futility. So if I'm a close ally, or if I have my way of advising the president, Osinbasjo, I will tell him, stay out of it now. Just keep watching. The road is not clear. What is going to play out, we don't know it. The direction of Nigeria, we don't know it politically. Nigeria is in crisis, so we should not put his head in the crisis already. His name has been dragged to the mud already by sticking with this administration that destroyed Nigeria. His name already been dragged. To me, I think he has dragged his name to the mud. Some might not see it like that. So he should stay out of it and just, watch from distance. It can still remain in politics. What is going to happen to APC now? APC is a very fragile party at the moment. It's a very, very fragile party. Serious crisis is going on in that party. Some senators are making moves to cross to PDP. About 18 or 20 of them have indicated their move to join PDP. And if they should move to PDP, PDP will be majority party in the National Assembly, particularly in the Senate. So, and that is why recently, last week, we saw the chairman of the party run to have a meeting, run to National Assembly to have meeting with the senators, because they have indicated to him because of the crisis, the way they have been humiliated by the governors, the way some governors have changed them, the way some governors have manipulated. The way some governors manipulated the primary process of the party, that kicked them out of the game. So they are very bitter right now. So a lot of them have indicated to the national body of the party that they're going to move, and some have already moved out. last week, 2 of them moved to PDP. And one, I think he moved from Delta State or maybe Edo State. Is it Edo State? Moved to what do you call it? He moved to Labour Party. So PDP, APC is on the verge of imploding. So there's crisis in the party. So
those who move are the ones that lost the election, who lost re-election.
All right, let me move you to another talking point just for reasons of time. I want people. I'm keen to hear commentaries on this. Tokunbo Afikuyomi falsified Tinubu's academic credentials to INEC, says campaign organization. Let me just give you a reminder, 2-3 paragraphs. The Bola Tinubu campaign headquarters on Saturday said the recent certificate forgery charges against the former governor of Lagos State stemmed from a 1999 incident involving Lagos politician Tokunbo Afikuyomi. The campaign organization said Mr. Afikuyomi was the one who falsely told the Electoral Department INEC in 1999 that Tinubu attended primary and secondary schools in Ibadan, a claim that has now resurfaced ahead of the 2023 presidential election. The response came a day after correspondents reported that Mr. Tinubu's 2023 presidential nomination filings with INEC showed he did not obtain primary or secondary education, with his campaign admitting that Mr. Tinubu did not disclose his early schools because the matter was controversial in the early 2000s. The campaign, however, said the ruling APC candidate was exonerated of all charges after Mr. Afikuyomi, a former senator, admitted that he mistakenly filed the governorship nomination forms for Tinubu in 1999 and therefore responsible for the false claims before a Lagos parliamentary panel that probed the counterfeit academic records. Asiwaju was exonerated in the House of Assembly's report because Senator Afikuyomi said he filed the form on his behalf then. Campaign spokesman Bayo Ononuga said in a statement to News Agency of Nigeria on Saturday. Mr. Ononuga did not clarify whether or not Mr. Tinubu could be held responsible under the law since he was the candidate whose signature appeared on the falsified document filed under oath. Mr. Ononuga said Mr. Tinubu left out his primary and secondary school education columns when he sought a second governorship term in Lagos in 2003. Mr. Ononuga said Nigerians should disregard perjury charges against Mr. Tinubu because he has not held any political office since he concluded his 2 terms in 2007 until early this month when he clinched the presidential nomination for the ruling party. The same certificate he gave INEC this year, he used in 2003, and there was no issue then. Why are they raising issues now? Mr. Ononuga added to News Agency of Nigeria. This was what happened at that time. And if in 2022, he, Tinubu, now drew blank on that session, what is the offense? So that's the defense somewhat. It was apparently some Tokunbo Afikuyomi that erroneously filed information on Tinubu's forms in 1999, by the way, and subsequently those filings had not been repeated in all of the elective positions that he has sought. So it wasn't actually something that is current and off now. It's something that is actually off 1999. Once in a time incident of error that has since been probed and found not anything to answer to. So that's the defense. Is that sufficient for you, Ajanle Koko?
It's a cover-up, one man.
From 1999, that was when the Afikuyomi filed this thing. So what are we still? Ajanle Koko.
Look, in 1999, how would somebody fill out your form for you? Is that possible?
Of course, routinely people do that.
Oh, people do that. Okay. And you sign it. And back then.
And by the way, all presidential candidates, yeah.
Hold on. And you sign it. You didn't go through it. They closed his eye to sign it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on that first form that he filed before 1999, he indicated his elementary and secondary school education there. That was where he has some problem. And you see, the one they feel after that, they didn't indicate that they jettisoned that elementary and secondary school.
That was erroneously filled, yes. They corrected the error.
Erroneously.
Yes.
Rigidity. You still have that rigidity. See, look. And then he used the state assembly that had the majority of his political associates for the cover-up as well, to exonerate him. So this guy has been playing this fraudulent game.
It will not be an error only if he gained an advantage from it. And there is no advantage gained in him claiming that he went to a primary school or something. All he needed is degrees, that would have been sufficient. So there was no advantage gained. So that then leans towards it more being an error than an act to fraudulently advantage, because there's no advantage gained from claiming he went to a primary school.
What do you mean by there's no advantage?
What is what I'm talking about?
Huh? What do you mean by there's
no
advantage gained? What do you mean by there's no advantage gained?
It doesn't get any. All it needed was his degree, which was sufficient enough. So him saying that he went to a primary school, it doesn't add anything to the form to pass him through. What passes him through is his degree. So it doesn't get anything from claiming a primary or secondary school. All it needs was his degree. So there was no advantage if we are saying that he gets an advantage from lying about a primary and secondary school, then you can say it's a lie. But if there is no advantage in it, then you see it more, then it coheres more with the error that they're saying was made than an act to deliberately try to defraud.
Even at that, one man, even at what you just said.
No. Do you concede that though? Do you concede what I just said?
Well, I won't concede that. I won't concede that. But I agree. Well, but then I might want to see your viewpoint from that angle. But what I'm saying is that, like Oyaliko already said, and other people say, is that why would you sign something you did not read?
People do that routinely now. People, come on, man.
You cannot sign your debt. What you cannot sign your debt?
No, it's just a form. It's just a form now. It's just a form.
It's a form, but you need to go through it.
It's not just a form. I went for primary.
Is that the way he was signing off Lagos?
If I can just interject my personal experience.
Let's say Celibate, yes. It's just a form, surely, Celibate.
Yeah, in my personal experience, when I went for the primaries for PDP, House of Reps, now I had to compile my letter of interest, and I had to go to all the wards and get this signed, and then I had to basically provide my primary school certificate. That was a very big problem, and the reason for that was that I don't think I did. I didn't do the that exam. That's the first school living certificate, right? I did not do it, and I didn't do it. I think because I was ill. I had some fever or something, and somehow I didn't, get around to doing that exam. However, I did the common entrance until I passed. I did get into a secondary school. And that did not matter because they would in the secondary school, they were not asking for all they needed you to do was to pass your common entrance, come for the interview, pass your exam in the interview, and then you get in. You see? But then I managed to get into my my secondary school, and I was able to find my certificate somewhere on the floor in the old principal's office. And so that basically, certified it, and I got the other letter, which is like a testimonial from the then existing principal who hardly knew me, but she looked into my records and she was able to create a testimonial for which I used, and I submitted that. And I had to do an affidavit to say why my WAEC, my first school certificate was not available. And
so an affidavit was okay for you, but it's not okay for Tinubu. You see the double standards?
No, then that's what he should have done. He should have done an affidavit, signed it himself, state why he does not have his primary school certificate at hand. However, you still have to submit all other relevant, in that case, you have to submit other relevant, but you have to have an affidavit to actually, because there's some people also in my group, some of the women who also left from class 5, because then you have to do class 6 to do the first school living certificate. So there were others who actually left in class 5, and so they didn't, and they still had to go and, have the affidavit. So if that is presented to the authorities of that school, they can verify it to say, okay, this person was in this school from this time to this time. However, she did not do the first school living certificate, but she passed the common entrance. And so she was able to, and then you now provide your attempt of WAEC, even if you just attempted, or if you just did, even if you didn't pass, that is okay, right? It doesn't matter how many credits you have; it doesn't really matter. But you did the WAEC and you have a result. So if he's not able to produce neither, not even the primary, and he's not able to produce the secondary,
He produced a university degree. A university degree.
No, but any other equivalent, like in this country now, you can still do your O levels if you've never even started. So you have to have an equivalent of some O levels to show that you went through that.
It's not a prerequisite. It's not a prerequisite.
So what is the prerequisite then?
The prerequisite is to provide a school cert or above.
A school cert or above.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you have actually presented some fraudulent certificates, that already indicts you.
No, but
we're not saying you're a criminal, but it indicts you.
No, it is not. It did not provide any certificate. Somebody actually erroneously wrote that he attended some schools that he may or may not have attended, but the bar that they said was a school cert and above. And he provided a university degree.
Yeah, but if somebody filled up his form for him, it means he authorized that person to give that information.
Well,
if somebody filled up his form for you,
and he signed it, and
it means you authorize the person to act on your behalf. So that person has the authority.
Yes,
so
but the person
then
acted.
Is your agent.
Well, yes, he acted erroneously. No, that's fine, but he acted erroneously.
In agency law, how
do you know he acted erroneously?
Because that's what they said. That's what
they said.
That was established. That was
no, it wasn't established. They said that. They said that.
No, by admission of the person. By
admission
of the person.
As Afikuyomi himself said that he did it.
Well, yes, it was presented at the Lagos State Parliament.
But it does not
did he say he did it?
It does not exclude you from the crime.
Oh my
God! It does not exclude you from the crime because this is agency. This is basic agency law.
No. Let me tell you the fundamentals of law. There are two fundamentals of law. There is there's mens reas, and then there's actus reas. So mens reas, actus reas, they are Latin words. So mens reas is criminal intent, and then actus reas is criminal actions. So all of law is just down to those two things, mens reas and actus reas. So criminal intent and then criminal action. So an act of error is not a criminal intent. So it's the intent.
But but then going back, I understand that bit, but going back, one of the basics of law is agency, right? So in agency, you give an authority to someone to do a job and act on your behalf. Because nobody can fill up your form if you do not, then that is even more criminal. If you do not give the person the authority, then that person is a criminal. But basically, you gave that person the authority to fill up, details, your personal details and your qualifications and all of it. And you also signed it. So that authority is upon you to verify and make sure that everything that was input there was accurate. It has to be accurate.
But law and society facilitates for error so long as it's one, not impactful, and two, quickly
they're not going to kill him. They're not going to kill him, but he's not going to qualify.
Yes, there are two things. One, was it impactful, yes or no? And then two, was it quickly corrected, yes or no? And in those two instances, no, it was not impactful because it's primary school and secondary school were of no significance when it's presented a university degree. So it wasn't impactful, and it was quickly corrected because the error was recognized.
So where did you get the status of that?
Where was it quickly corrected?
Is that question you're asking? That means you're basically acting as a judge reviewing the matter.
I'm surprised,
right?
If it's a crime, what's the statute of limitation?
If you deceive the authorities, is a crime. Whether you are aware or you're not aware, is a crime because you signed. You have fixed your signature.
Appended.
Did you intend to deceive?
That has to be established. Is that an intent?
Well, yes, that has to be established.
But your signature
is on it.
No, that's not in question now. What's in question is it your intent to deceive?
That has to be established, like I said.
If your signature was there, and now you're saying that is erroneous.
Hold on. Shall it be? The establishment of the intent here would be that you call somebody, do this for me. And you ought to have gone through it yourself and see it. And then you appended you put your signature on it. That in itself, it's incriminating.
No, but I don't think you're understanding. It's the intention to deceive. Because the intention can only be to deceive if you are gaining an advantage from the act. And it's not gaining an advantage from a primary...
But if the document was not right, then the intention is to deceive because you appended your signature.
No, the intention cannot be not right. If it's erroneous, then the intention is not to deceive. It's an error.
It's not an error.
No, but how is it an error? How is it an error?
Because it was filled secondarily. It was filled secondarily, not primarily, but by a third party.
Was Afikwiyomi's they are bonded before any court of law for that what he did?
He appeared before the Lagos State Parliament.
Court of law.
Don't worry. What is court of law? They probed it, and it was established that it was done in error.
It's a crime.
Why was it a crime?
It's a crime on either side, on either the side of the agent or the side of the authority.
It was an error.
Either it's criminal to somebody, either the agent, because first of all, the agent, if he knows better, but if he did not know better, and then the authority itself signed, appended their signature on something they probably know is not even right, not reading it, and knowing the importance of that document, then someone is basically
someone should go to jail.
Liable.
Yeah.
Someone is liable.
What are you talking about now?
What am I talking about?
Are you some extremist?
But how would one man? How would I?
I'm not an extremist, man. This is law.
Somebody to go to jail for
we have a nonsensical state called Nigeria. When people don't respect rule of law, people go
exactly
with impunity. People should be made to face the consequence of your actions. That is how you teach.
Is there a lawyer in the room? And can someone answer the question? What's the statute of limitation? Is it still applicable?
It's usually 10 years, isn't it? If
it's 10 years, why are we talking about it now?
But we're talking about it because he filled it again.
So he did not. He did not. Why are you saying that? That's a lie now.
Hold on. He filled the same form for presidency or whatever. I mean, he's seeking office. I mean, seeking to contest for an office, and he filled a similar form, and he left out that same information he filled previously.
Right.
So he corrected his error.
Hold on. Not only did he do that as the president, he did that also in 2003. In 2003, when he ran for his second term.
And then what?
He omitted those spaces.
So why did he omit them?
To correct the error.
To correct the error.
Okay, one man. Let me ask you a question.
Something is not sitting right. It's not an average Nigerian thing. I mean, an average one Nigerian.
One man. I like him.
One man.
You have all the basic.
One man. Let me ask you this question. In 1999, he claimed that Afikuyomi filled that form for him.
By Afikuyomi, by his own admission, said that.
That is what Tinubu. That is the position of Tinubu's defense team. That yes, what Afikuyomi that filled out the form. Who gave those information to Afikuyomi that he filled on that form?
It might well have been given secondarily, or
no.
Really
one man, stop this. One man.
Well, we don't know that it was given primarily. Do we know it was given primarily?
One man. All those information that Afikuyomi fill out on those forms, who gave them to Afikuyomi?
Yes, it might be given secondarily.
You can't be talking like this, one man.
Does it not make more sense that it was given secondarily? It wasn't given by Tinubu.
It doesn't give by, and he's filling out this thing on Tinubu, and somebody else was giving it to him, and Tinubu signed it. And Tinubu signed it. Hold on, and Tinubu signed it. And Tinubu signed it.
For the non-known man,
is he a disabled?
No,
does he have? Is he a minor? Is he a minor?
I think
was he a minor back then? Was he a minor?
Peter, Obi'S forms will be filled for him.
Was he a minor?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think
for
so.
him.
Hey, can we get a word in?
He lied. He lied on his elementary and secondary
school.
Basic
education, you should be able to fill up your forms yourself.
No,
you don't need anybody
to fill your
forms
are complex.
No, they are not complex. They are not.
They are not
ordinary form complex to him, but he wanted to govern complex states as Lagos State.
It's a complex form.
Ordinary form, complex. But he wanted to govern Lagos State back then.
Why you spelling things like this?
No, we have to be fair now. We have to be fair. Let's be fair. Let's be fair.
No, being fair doesn't mean you have to.
They are very basic. They are basic. I mean, you don't need anybody to assist you to fill up those forms. All you need to do is put your name, your middle name, your whatever names maybe you've answered before, whatever, your marital, whatever status, and then you put everything, and then you put the certificates that you have, you register each of them as you've done and you put them in a packet and you submit them. You show them, first of all, you verify the originals, and then you submit the photocopies, and that is it. That's the way it's done. Right. So you cannot say somebody else.
One man.
Yeah, go on. Let's say from
he lied on those forms at the first instance.
Right.
And he lied on them.
It's unfortunate.
And he some people were able to investigate those schools that he attended and discover that he lied. And that is why it didn't put that form when he was running the second time. That's why he stopped.
He had enough time to rectify all of that. He also had enough time.
Hold on, Celibis. Let me ask you a question, Ajanle Koko, because you've been putting questions. Why would you lie? Why would somebody lie?
Oh, okay. So you want to know why he lied?
Yeah, but not him, but anybody. But just condense it. Why do people lie?
Yeah, people can lie for so many reasons, particularly to portray themselves for as if they are qualified to justify their qualification for particular position or for
Okay.
particular thing.
So
Yes,
what advantage does Tinubu gain from claiming he went to a primary school? How is he advantaged?
because the form called for it, and he has to fill it out.
The form called for a minimum school start.
No. Hold on, one man. On that form, you have to list all your educational qualification, all your education, everything you have to list on that form. But no, one man, no. Stop, one man. Let me clarify it for you. Clarify it for you.
Okay.
What the Constitution required is CUSAT.
Right.
For anybody for that position, even the position of the president, position for the position of the president, what the Constitution requires is a CUSAT. That's a different thing. But on that particular form, it required you to fill out all your educational background from the beginning, from elementary upward. I know about this form. I have filled out this form before.
No, that's fine.
Myself. So I'm telling you what played out, and this is what this guy did. He complied to what that form called for by filling out everything at the first instance in 1999. So it was when they discovered that he lied and he knew this going to, destroy his political ambition, he was able to manipulate the assembly for cover-up.
That's your narrative. That's your narrative.
Well, this is what I know. It's not my narrative. He controlled the assembly. All the people in the assembly, they are all his political associates. So he manipulated them to cover up his dirty deal. Then, after that, in 2023, I will know that, yes, he had run in contrary to the law. It now tried to correct it by not putting those primary and secondary school education, now starting from secondary school upward. So it was, this guy, he lied. Let us just agree. We are not going to lose anything from saying, this man is a fraudster.
He admitted an error, and an error rhymes more. But let's hear from Kulata and then Thomas, because just make sure we've heard all the voices. Kulata, you've heard the conversation.
Yeah, I've been waiting frustratingly for a while. This conversation, to be honest, doesn't really interest me because is it material? That's the first question. Because if it's past the statute of limitation, then nothing anybody can do about it. You can't take it to court. You can't take it anywhere because it's just past the statute. So if the statute is 10 years,
can do something about it.
The voters can do whatever they want to do. Yes,
they can make their own assessment of the character of that person.
That's fine, because the character of that person, the people already question his character anyway, so it's kind of baked in. And this is not in Tinubu's first instance of lying. Before, he said he went to University of Chicago when he went to Chicago State University. So they know he lies, but they're still the people that will vote for him will still vote for him anyway, because a lot of people vote against their interest. Then the next thing is the minimum requirement is school start. The guy produces a legit Chicago State University. He's met the minimum requirement. If he is silent on secondary and primary school, you can't penalize him for it because there's nothing you can go and check. It may be devious for doing that, but legally, INEC can't have a case against it because INEC only needs to follow the Constitution. As he met the minimum requirement. And yes, he has met and exceeded the minimum requirement with his university degree. And it was, I think, summa cum laude, which is equivalent of 2-1 from Chicago State University. So from an education standpoint, the guy is sound. But is he dishonest? Is he like conniving? Just like any politician, yes, he's hiding some skeletons. Obviously hiding some skeletons because he must have gone to primary and secondary school. Maybe he's changing his age. Maybe something to do with his background. Nobody knows. Everybody wants to put the best foot forward. So I don't really see much about it. If you can't like take him to court and win in court, if it's just something that's in the past, Tinubu is baked in. He's not known for being like a honest politician anyway. So I don't really think much about it.
All right, thank you. So you say he may be hiding something, and Alexander Gomez super chats to suggest what he may be hiding. Alexander Gomez super chats to say, it is becoming pretty apparent Tinubu has had a name change over the years. He does have primary/secondary records, albeit in his birth name, not Tinubu. So a lot of speculations to that
I
space.
doubt that name change though. I doubt it.
No, that's
think so too.
that's the
I
IPOB,
think
that's
so
the
too.
IPOB people. That's the IPOB people.
I doubt the name change because he has
No,
his,
what
I
brother
know. I kind of
Alexandra, what brother Alexander is telling us is the absolute truth.
I don't
is
know.
the truth.
That is the absolute truth.
He's hiding something,
Yeah.
but I can't tell for sure
He
because
definitely went to
that is
primary school.
absolute truth. Brother Alexandra is a Lagosian, and all Lagosians know this quite very well. That is
But
what that guy is hiding.
that is what's in the. That's what everybody is saying.
He's
That's
hiding his
that,
real name.
That's IPOB. That's what
That's what they say. Even
yeah, but
the real
check this out.
Lagosians
Check
that
this out.
we know
What about his family
that knows
members?
him well.
Wait,
Yeah.
what about his family members like Jide Tinubu, the O&O guy? I mean, they look alike. Is a Tinubu too? Was he also adopted? Was his name too changed? But he's definitely hiding something, but I just can't tell. His mom is a prominent woman now. She was Yaloja.
No, that was not her mom.
So,
Yaloja,
I don't know.
It's not her real mom.
I've heard the gist about somewhere in Osun State. Everybody knows that gist. Everybody knows that gist.
So,
but how do you verify it?
Yaloja was not his mom.
Let me ask Kaluta.
Everybody knows that gist. But how do you confirm
How do you bring Boyega? How do you bring Boyega, the Osun State governor? How do you bring him into the picture? How is he related to Boyega?
How is it related to him?
I don't even think I mentioned Boyega. Did I mention Boyega?
I'm asking you a question.
I don't know about Boyega now. Why are you asking me a question?
Cousin from Osun State.
I have cousins from Kwara State. I have cousins from Kwara State. I am an
cousin from Fulani land too.
But people migrate from one place to the other. You can have cousins, but my own is hiding something. I will want that thing to be caught. But outside of that, it's just
his age. I think
innuendo.
His age that is the real.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the age.
So have you guys gone back to look at his picture when he was a governor? He looked young then. No, I think he just has bad genetics.
No, I think he has
young.
bad habits. They say
I think he has bad habits. He has a drug problem for sure because I know people that used to smoke weed with him under.
And he likes the powder as well. You know the powder.
Oh man, how do you know? Have you seen him?
It's in common parlance.
He has a drug problem. He has a drug problem. I know someone firsthand that used to like do those things with him firsthand. I know even one was a woman.
Well,
I can confirm that one.
For sure.
No, this one at least that person is firsthand, but the other account is not firsthand, so I can't really vet it. But they said he used to do it.
You know, he was arrested for money laundering heroin deals in America.
In the US, yes.
So
does he take it? We don't know.
No, he don't sell it. He doesn't.
People sell it now. People don't take it. They sell it to other people, but they don't take it.
But that was a very big thing in the
So I just feel this guy is unfairly treated, you know. Yeah,
no. He's hiding something, one man. That is why we are all peculiar about this. Those results, those people, those missing documents in his.
That's why he could not talk much about the mismanagement of Nigeria. He was just sitting down there. He was supposed to be the APC national leader, but he never made a voice about any of all the incidences and all the things that happened.
No, that's political.
That's political. Why will he do that?
He doesn't want them to open his own side.
He will not have this ticket now. He will not have this ticket
now. Exactly. Now he's got the ticket. He's still in a ring marrow because he doesn't have the certificates to prove, because he's probably changed his name, or he probably I don't know what could have happened. But he said unknown soldiers took it. Who are the unknown soldiers that took it? Then if they did take it, then you can still go and get. But you can still go and get another copy now from WAEC. If it's only 70,
it's not what the palaver now. When he has a degree already, we see what the palaver.
Well, man.
But if he lied, if he put in a fake one, somebody put in a fake one,
The
then he
guy
has
is
to
hiding
prove
something,
that
obviously.
he has.
That guy is hiding something.
He's hiding something. It's like Enweren. I mean,
We
it's
can't go on
the
together
same
with this
thing.
kind of suspicion. We cannot go on together with this
It's
kind of
not really a
suspicion.
suspicion.
And
I
we are
think
not
people
here.
are trying to make a mountain out of what is just a dirt on the floor.
No, it's
a
not a
molehill.
mountain. No.
It's not a mountain. It's just a dirt on the
Well,
floor.
it's not a mountain. We cannot continue to do this DBYO and all this kind of things. We cannot continue like that.
But when Peter Obi was
like that.
telling us he turned 20 million to 100 million, everybody gave him a pass.
They are rocking money. To be established.
Obi of two shoes
established
and one wristwatch.
We don't need no
One wristwatch,
Yes.
3 pairs of shoes.
Well, they're all liars now.
One man, let me throw something to you. Rufai interviewed one guy this evening called Daniel Ba something.
Daniel Boala.
Yes. The guy said, the guy said he saw Peter Obi in Louis Vuitton in Heathrow Airport.
Look at that.
If you say Obi knows Sabi better.
He said Peter Obi cannot deny it. He saw him there buying stuff in Louis Vuitton. And they say this man. Yes.
Peter Obi, he may only have 2 wristwatches, but those 2 wristwatches, they can buy your house. You can buy your house.
They said his shoes from Primark. They said his shoes.
Look at that. But Bianca Ojukwu is defending her. I mean, defending him that when he came to US for an occasion to deliver a lecture or for what did he say? Maybe to give him an award or something like that. They took him somewhere to buy jacket.
Tom Ford.
Yeah. He said he turned it down. They turned it down. He went to buy the one for $150.
I would have done the same. I would have done the same. Why should I go and buy a jacket for £5,000?
You know,
if I can get one that will fit me, and I'll look as good in one that is £200. Why not?
I'm of that mindset too. I have to say, I cannot abide just spending.
This guy is lying. That's what we're saying.
That's enough. You know,
Obi is a liar. And the thing is, they're trivial lies that are not necessary. I have 2 shoes.
He's not a liar. You can't call somebody a liar because
he's a liar. When you're caught lying, you're a liar.
But you saw somebody who is a liar and you refuse to point out the fact that you're saying
don't
do you get a degree?
Tinubu is a liar now. Did I say he wasn't a liar? I said you just can't take him to court. You can't take him to court. Can you take him to court? What can you do about it?
You have a degree, but I'm asking you.
We shall see if they can
I'm asking the people of Nigeria. I'm not going to any court because Nigerian courts are all messed up too. I'm asking you as a citizen and other citizens who are Nigerians, can you get a degree without having 5 credit in school set? Can you?
I mean, Tinubu went to school. He went to primary and secondary school. We all know he's hiding something. So as long as it's legally permissible, it doesn't have to show what he's hiding. It only needs to meet the minimum requirement.
Is this legally permissible? Let me address Kaluta on this. This is legally permissible. All the case in court were all thrown out because of whatever the technicalities. Not that it was tested.
For lack of substance.
When you bring a case in court, make sure you have everything to back it up.
For lack of substance. All the grounds was immunity. What's it called? Kaluta, what was that thing you used? That illegal time you used?
Statute of limitation.
Statute of limitation. Those are the 2 reasons. Not because it was not as if it was proven in court that these things were false allegations. No, it was on technicalities. So until then, when we test this thing in court to prove it in court to the Nigerians that this guy
that they went to primary school.
He had primary school certificate.
You must
he had secondary school certificate.
You have to test it in court. Went to primary.
That's a joke.
Listen to those words.
No man, you should be encouraging 419.
I want rational mind to hear what he said. But what you are saying, they have to test it in court that he has primary school. That's what you said.
Yeah, he has primary school. He has secondary school.
Look at this guy. My God.
What's the crime?
And
What's the
what's
crime
the
for not
fault?
having primary and secondary school?
One
What's the
man,
crime?
he has
What's
to prove
criminal
that he
about
attended
that?
secondary
No, there's
school
nothing
and
wrong
what's
with
his
it.
name.
But he's
and
So
what's
what
all
are you
over,
taking
that's
to court?
fine.
He's hiding something. We want to see what he's hiding.
But
want
you,
to see it.
it's not illegal to hide something. He
Oh
only
my
met the
goodness. Here we go
requirements.
again.
One man,
Nigerian mindset.
one man,
If be lawyer,
something that
if you be
people don't.
lawyer,
Nigeria, we don't Colongo.
One man.
We will never move forward in that
Ogongo.
country.
All right, let's hear from Thomas and then Meadowman. But before we come to you, Thomas, let me acknowledge Joseph K's super chat. So this is Joseph K joining Alexander Gomez in the super chat, and it says Yoruba and Biafran nation or nothing. So thank you, Joseph K. But thank you for saying that, by the way, because we've been doing this now for a year and a bit. In the throes of all that Biafra story, we were saying in this space where we note that as soon as the politics starts, all of this Biafra Yoruba nation nonsense, we will pack it to one side. And people were throwing abuse at us. Like, when did we last mention Yoruba nation? When did anybody last mention Biafra? You know, look at this is it now. We predict Ajale Koko, did we not say this when they were coming here to shout Biafra Odua?
You are right, one man.
Yeah, it's a nonsense. And as soon as politics starts, they will pack it. So Yoruba
But
nation.
the agitation is still going on. The agitation is still going on. They never stop.
Who is paying attention to it? Simon
It's
Ekpa.
only on one man platform. We don't discuss it now. One man, it's only a platform. Other platform, they are discussing it.
Yeah. In fact, the Yoruba nation is waxing stronger.
Going wild, yeah.
The Yoruba nation is waxing stronger than the Biafra nation now.
Simon Ekpa and Koiki, those are the only two
Koiki?
people.
Yes.
No, not only you don't follow it. National man is just telling you.
Dara is there.
I don't know of any Dara.
They pull crowd though, like even 2000.
Who is Koiki?
Have you getting your passport? Yoruba nation passport. Have you getting yours?
Passport. Don't worry. So thank you for the super chat.
Don't worry. It's a matter of time. It will come.
Yoruba nation.
It's a matter of time.
Yoruba nation.
Pastor, these people are just ridiculous. I saw the passport. I'm just laughing.
Those people they're fraudsters, like the same politicians everybody's trying to
and you know all these criminals, they'll be doing GoFundMe on the back of that. You know this like Simon Ekpa, they'll be doing GoFundMe that we are fighting them. Oh, bring your dollars. You know, I wish I had criminality in me. I should be milking something too, but
the only thing that really makes me like have a rethink about this Yoruba nation is a lot of them are now using it for money. Like you guys, they say, "Oh, we are contributing money for Loye." This thing just irritates me. Like, what is going on here? Like,
the biggest fraud
is not becoming a money making.
No, rational man. So the legal battle he was fighting. You think it was only Sunday Igboho's money that they were using to fight the battle? It was a contribution like, now. And there are some other things that they have some other things they spend the money on.
Hold on. So what I'm saying, they don't have a unified account.
Yeah, everybody random person is just
everybody else keep coming. Mayegun has his own. That one has his own. Just keep like what's going on here.
Yeah, you know,
there's no accountability for how much is going on. How much? I mean, anything that anybody says.
There's one fat guy
that should not be a problem to you or to me. People that are donating money to them, they know the reason, the passion, and they believe their hope, their dream. That is why. So you should not be problem. You should not complain. Since they didn't complain. They did not complain. Why are you complaining about the money they are giving to them?
The biggest fraud that is yet to come will be under this Peter Obi narrative. Do you know how many people will start to set up a Peter Obi GoFundMe on every single platform? They will loot everybody. They will loot and loot and
That's what I want to advise Obi. Obi does not have. Obi does not have one unified platform for all his campaign and everything. Everybody just keep campaigning for him. And also this one we'll talk about him today. That one we'll talk about him.
I want to buy balls. I want to do outreach
like,
in my village.
What
I
is
want
wrong?
to do this. I want to do that. Bring $50,000.
This guy wants to lead the nation. He wants to lead the nation. He doesn't have a unified campaign whereby everybody comes under one umbrella. Everybody's just keep doing their own thing. I'm not saying people should not do their own thing, but there are certain things that he should be able to put out there. This is my unified. I mean, it's like all he's fighting for right now is he wants Kwakwanso on that ticket. He's so distracted that the main thing that he should be doing right now, a unified campaign whereby one unified body will be, other umbrella will come under it. They will all be working in sync. They will be synchronized, working in concert. Not that everybody will be doing their own thing. This one will be putting out different information and misleading information. Like we hear the other guy say from $20 million to $100 million. You know, all kind of things. It doesn't make him look good.
Let's give him
because he has not really established his leadership.
Give him some time.
He has not really established his leadership in that party, and he has not put a team together. You know,
you need to put up a team.
Position the party where that is the problem. And that is why we said
Obi wasn't prepared. He's working on it. He's working on it. It's just a matter of time, and I think he'll get it together.
We're 7 months away now. Why do people keep saying the matter?
Yeah, but then how many months ago did he join the Labour Party? How many months ago?
The campaign has not even started, and you people want a structure. The campaign will start now. A vice president.
So when is he going to put his up?
Have you, Madam Man, have you heard the phrase "Jack be nimble, Jack be quick"? So Jack
jump over.
Yeah. So Obi be nimble, Obi be quick. Obi be nimble. It has to be nimble. It has to be up and at it now. Up and at it.
Sally B. One man.
Yeah.
This mistake people are making is somehow frustrating. Do you think when Obi decamped to Labour Party is when he decamped? Obi has asked this underground work before this time. Do you agree with that? You can't just defected like that.
Defend that. How did you read that conclusion?
I'm not saying that's my opinion, my brother, and you can take it to the bank.
I can't take it to the bank now. You're not giving me any substance.
That's Thomas. So he will tell you they're not born that well now. He will tell you that's
No. One man, just reason with me a bit. He will have been having this serious meeting with Labour Party before he declared his defection.
So no, I don't think so. No, Thomas. Let me tell you what I suspect. I suspect that they saw the writing on the wall and they knew that the money was too much for him to contend with. And he sat down with Donyo Okukwe, and Donyo Okukwe managed to convince him that, look, you are popular enough. Let's take it somewhere else. And they took it somewhere else. Yeah. I think it was on the moment. Yeah, I think it was a good. I thought it was foolish at the time, but it looks as though it might all have been the thing to do now. Because he's still in play and he would have died the natural death.
When we're telling you, one man, you and Nadal, both of you were just arguing here. Hey, he's committed political suicide.
It still has because he's not going to get anything in 2023.
Well, One man. There's one issue that you have not brought up. Because what's going to happen is that if Tinubu fails, which is looking likely, or somehow likely, then the next candidate for APC will have to be Amechi. Do you understand that at all?
Yes, a lot of people are saying that would they have failed health-wise,
and that may change the whole ball game.
It's not automatic. I don't think it is. If Tinubu dies or something now, won't they APC have to go nominate someone else? It's not automatic.
Why are we talking about
it? It will default to the next person.
Is that the law?
Yeah,
is that the law?
The case of Yaya Bello versus what's his name?
That's true. That's true.
No. What happened in the case of Yaya Bello?
And the flag bearer of APC.
In the case of Yaya Bello,
where the change will come.
The president that won, the vice president that won the election, they didn't give it to him, and they went to give it Yaya Bello. that was about maybe third position in the primary. So that was happened. It was second. Was it second?
It was the second.
It was second. Okay.
All right, but if that happens, then we all become obedient, because the idea of Peter Rotimi Amechi, I mean, God Almighty, you know, that is Abacha and Buhari rolled
well,
into
you
one.
completed railways for you guys.
But we're going to get
railways
president
for
by
you guys.
that.
Abandon the one in Port Harcourt. Abandon the monorail in Port Harcourt. You know? After spending how many billions, the monorail in Port Harcourt is null and void. You know, it's just like it's structural eyesore right now.
What's going on with his belly? What's going on with his belly anyway? His belly.
It's chopping now. If you're chopping, what's your belly?
One man don't talk. I've seen your own. I've seen your own.
No. My own is muscles. Muscles. What you saw was muscles.
Six pack.
On the general, I think Amechi might stand a better chance than Tinubu.
No,
because Amechi is seen as a young man, as someone who is progressive, someone who is doing his job.
That's why he was running by the stadium.
All right, gentlemen and lady, for the first time I'm able to say that. Let me take the conversation on to Meadowman and move it in a different direction, but in a place that we have visited before, Meadowman. We're going to Ekweremadu again, and
one man, you say you are coming to me about Tinubu.
Yes, but we've not really heard Meadowman's voice, but
no worries.
Yeah. So I want us to, so just so that every voice has had this space too. So organ harvesting. Ekweremadu's donor's brother breaks silence. So this is the brother of Ekweremadu's donor guy. Let me just give you a couple of paragraphs just to refresh. One of the family members of the young man involved in the controversial organ harvesting scandal that led to the arrest and detention of Senator Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice in the United Kingdom, David Upo Nwamini, has claimed the age of the donor to be 25. David's brother, who claimed to be 22 years of age, told correspondents that the victim is his older brother. He added that he has been conversating with his brother since January when he traveled. The donor's brother said he was staying with them in Ikotun before he left. We were both selling phone accessories. We spoke last week. We've even spoken again this week. He said David was not working yet because he needed to get to go to school first before he gets his working papers. So these are his quotations. He said, David is my elder brother because we are both of the same father with different mothers, and we hail from Ebonyi State. I will be 22 years old next month, and David is 25. I am aware that he traveled because he told me. He did not disclose the country he was traveling to. He simply told me he was going to school abroad. After some months of not hearing from him, I got his number from his girlfriend and called him. I asked about his studies and work. So there it is, right there. The one thing that indicts Ekweremadu will be the age of that person, a child or a man. So it looks as though that guy, 10 years older than he, reports to the authorities. So that's the space. But before I come to you, Meadowman, let me quickly acknowledge Alexander Gomez's super chat, which has been sitting on the screens. It says, if you know Tinubu in person, you can't help but like him. An Agbero to the core, extremely jovial and criminally giving. To him, everyone has a price. And thank you for that. That's somewhat a report of people that I even know that have had interactions with Tinubu. Generous to a fault, of course, because he knows that people, the one thing that buys people is money. And he understands that fully and knows and uses that effectively. If you know Tinubu in person, you can't help but like him. An Agbero to the core, extremely jovial and criminally giving. To him, everyone has a price. So that's Alexander's super chat. But to that space, thank you for the super chat, Alexander. But to that space, Meadowman, this is the absolution then that would get Ekweremadu out of court. If they are able to establish legally that this guy is indeed 25, then that puts a different slant on the saga, Meadowman.
Yeah. If this story is confirmed, if it is true, Then Kweremadu actually did not commit any crime. He did not do anything wrong. But this story, I have an impression that this story is still evolving, and I didn't know this other spin now until you brought it up. So if the guy has a girlfriend, he probably isn't a minor, you know. And so that goes to, you know, exonerate him somewhat. But you know, these stories now, when we hear the first version of the story, we run with it. Now go ask how many people has had anything about this guy that comes out to give this information now. You know, nobody has heard him. Nobody will hear him. We only run with the first story. I am somewhat, because I got kids of my own, and I was, you know, that day I was saying that you know, they should, you know, jail him for life. But later on, I was reflecting. I have kids of my own, and I was my little girl, you know, she went to cut her nail by herself, and she cut herself. And you know, the way I felt, and later on, that made me reflect of how a Kweremadu would, you know, the situation he you know, I mean, he's a public person. This thing that happened, even if nothing happened, it would hardly ever stay out of public knowledge. So if he went to this extent, that it must be a very big, you know, weight in his mind. I mean, think about somebody's child. They would go to any extent to save their child from, you know, in this case, dying, actually. So I somewhat have a little bit of sympathy with him, you know, removing the political part, just looking at him as a human being. I somewhat have some sympathy with him.
You know, I'm with you on that, Meadowman. I am loath to be sympathetic to somebody like Kweremadu because I instinctually hate Nigerian politicians. But
Exactly.
really, I'm a stickler for fair play and balance. And it looks as though this guy, what made me start to sympathize with him, Meadowman, was when they released the letter that is sent as an accompaniment to this guy's application for a visa.
Yeah,
To the
because
United. It stated there what he intended to do. So
Yeah.
what is he accused of? He said this guy is coming to the United Kingdom to donate a kidney for my daughter. That he sent that to the British. So what more do you want from him?
That is it. And I don't think somebody like that would take that risk of taking a minor to the UK. I mean, come on, that wasn't going to fly in any way, unless he doesn't have.
And he's a man of law. He's a man that knows the law. He's a lawyer. He knows how the law. He knows everything about the law. So how would he do that?
That would have been very stupid of him.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think the story is still unfolding. We're gonna hear some more things about it, and that is why we should be careful. You know, sometimes, even though instinctively we would rush to condemn such a person, we should wait for the involvement of
but middleman, the age of the guy is still in question, isn't it? They can still hold that.
That will be established. That is easy to establish. If he's really 25, that will be established by medicine. That is. But right now, what the law knows is that the boy is a minor. So until proven contrary, he will be you know, he will be locked up. He is a criminal until that is proven. But if it is true that he's 25, it will be established. It will be established at some point. So I mean, he's not an ordinary person, and I think he has all the money in the world to get the best attorneys in the world. So I think is something that is certain to happen.
All right, and if they do establish that, then he has grounds to sue the British government for for
and
being
the boy.
Yeah. Well, he can't. What will he get from the boy? He can't get anything from the boy. But if they establish that guy is a man, then I wouldn't object to his deportation. He should serve jail term because they're saying he's the one pushing this narrative. The once upon a boy, now man at 25.
Yeah, because they might hold him for perjury or for giving false information or lying about his age, or So, but if this is true anyway, we have not established that yet. But if this story is true, that guy is a criminal. That boy is a criminal. So I don't think.
But I still hate Ikiremadu, so that I don't still like him.
Me
But
too.
Fair is fair. Fair is fair.
I still hate him. I just feel for the daughter.
Yeah. All right, brilliant. So, Meadowman, let me take the conversation.
The other thing you have to look at.
Go on.
Can I just that's a Kuremadu thing?
Now,
the other thing you have to look at is if he actually planned to pay that guy money in order for him to do this transfer. That's one of the side that you're not looking at.
Is that illegal? Is that illegal?
In some countries,
it's illegal. It's illegal in this country. In the United Kingdom, it's illegal. But it is illegal in the United Kingdom. I don't know which country you're talking about. Well, if he has actually lured this guy,
all those funny countries, I don't think it's illegal.
But we are not in Malaysia now. We are talking about UK. We're talking about UK. They are very, very strict about this law.
But how do you establish that?
In this country, you cannot sell an organ. You cannot sell an organ.
How would you prove that? How would you prove that? How would you prove that?
All depends on what the guy says and what if it all depends on what the guy tells the police and if in the court of law they believe it.
Look, once it is established that
we don't know whether the guy lied. We cannot question something that we don't have evidence in our hand. But assuming the guy is
lied, there's nothing else he can say that can be taken.
Even if it's established that the guy lied, that is one thing.
Yeah, if it is established,
that the guy lied.
If it's established that he lied about
it will still be a criminal offense to offer money for the harvest of an organ.
Yeah, but if what Meadowman is saying is that if it's established that he lied about his age, then his integrity, his credibility already in question. So nobody will take his word.
But let's see how it pans out. Because one thing is for one thing for people to say he's lying about his age.
His junior brother.
But we cannot verify those people who are saying that
he even has a girlfriend.
He's a Nigerian footballer. His brother is 22, but he's 15. This is his
younger brother can still have a girlfriend.
Yeah, his younger brother is 22, but he's 15. Nigerian is a footballer. He's a footballer.
They will establish his age anyway. As far as I'm concerned, this country they will establish his age by two tests.
That is easy to establish.
All right.
One man. It's just like Tinubu. Tinubu is 70. His daughter is 60.
All right. Let's hear your commentaries on the Tinubu space, Thomas.
Yes. What I want to say about that is that one man, we can still say the last judgment the guy got about this saga. Don't this the last judgment succeed? Because he can still, if they want to nail him, he can still present the last judgment that maybe they struck the case out of the court. So if they brought this same saga again, he can still present the last judgment because nobody has appealed the last judgment. So it's still good to go to me. That's just my opinion. Because if anybody hasn't appealed against that judgment or taking it to the Supreme Court, so the judgment is still succeed and it's still tenable. The INEC or anybody will still get it from allow him to go ahead. And if anybody has anything against, people are just shouting in Nigeria. If people have evidence against this guy, they should approach the court, and the court will determine the final say. They can even take it to appeal and end the Supreme Court before the election, so that maybe something else will happen. That is just my submission, one man.
All right, brilliant. Well put. So thank you, Thomas, and thank you, everyone, especially you, Celibate, for turning up today. End of session, of course, a shorter session in the afternoon will reconvene for the evening. Like, share, subscribe. I'll leave it here. Make and peace. You know the routine. Thank you, everybody.